Thank you. Just to let everybody know how the rules go. We are not allowed in public comments to respond to somebody at the podium during the public comments section, just to let you know. And thank you. Okay, item number 3 is the consent agenda, items A through H.
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any questions or concerns, please cast your votes.
All votes right.
Okay, unanimous approval for the consent agenda for items A through H. Number 4, items removed from the consent agenda. There were none. Item number 5 is the loan agreement with Logan 1 EMS Board. Mr. Braden, Deputy Fire Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Thank you for having me. Our Medic 2, the Dodge ambulance that was previously declared surplus, the patient compartment was remounted on the 2025 Ford chassis. This project is now in its final stages. Tomorrow they said it's supposed to be hopefully ready to ship, and so we hope to gain that back within the next couple of weeks. The agreement before you is a loan amount of $257,752 with a 60-month term, monthly payments of $4,296, and a start date of October 1. The Logan EMS Board has approved this loan term, and by pursuing this option, we were able to save approximately $200,000 while providing the department with a new, fully equipped ambulance. Tonight, we are asking for your approval on this loan agreement. Staff recommends I do pass at this time.
So moved.
Second. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion in 2 seconds. Any questions, comments? Okay, cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Unanimous approval for the item number 5, loan agreement with Logan 1 EMS Board. Item number 6, partnership between the City of Guthrie and Meridian Technology Center. Please, Chief Swigert.
Good evening, Council. Some time ago, I received a grant for $500,000 from the Oklahoma Emergency Management Department. The city was going to match 50%. You all have already accepted that. We have looked over several places where we thought we might like to build this, and then we've talked with Dr. Major at the Meridian Votech, and they have expressed some interest about us placing a building out there with them joining in to help fund the building. We're not asking for approval for you all to bless that relationship right now, but we are asking that that you allow us to move forward in working with them and considering this further as we move into the future.
So where's this going to be at?
It'll be on the far back side of Meridian,
Right.
where the parking lot is now.
West side, all the way to the west?
Yep, initially, and we're still very early in the planning stages. But initially, there'll be a building back there, and then back behind, we've got some plans to put some stuff up for the fire department to train with back there. So it'll be multi-jurisdictional training place, and then we will also have a backup off-site dispatch center out there just in case there's ever an emergency. We sit here kind of close to the train tracks, so you never can tell what might pop up.
So what do you need from us?
You want a motion to allow us to
Us
continue to
to-
discuss?
yes.
Okay, so,
Yes.
Your Honor, I would move that we allow staff to continue to discuss a partnership between the City of Guthrie and Meridian Technology for the purposes of constructing a training room and related facilities for the Guthrie Police and Fire Departments.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion in 2 seconds again.
I was gonna give a third.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Is any questions or comments?
Thanks, Chief.
Okay, all right.
Thank you all very much.
All votes are in.
Okay. Unanimous approval for the partnership between the City of Guthrie and Meridian Technology Center. Eddie, are we going to insert here, or?
Yes, sir. I believe, Mayor, at this time, if you'd like to move to item number 12, you could do so.
Okay, we are going to move item number 12 at this time, which is ordinance number 3425, Community Cat Management and Trap Neuter Release, also known as TNR. Discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding ordinance number 3425, establishing Article 10 of Chapter 3 of the Guthrie Municipal Code relating to community cat management and trap neuter release, TNR. Adam Roth, Mayor, that is me. As you can see, that I am the person listed on this ordinance, so I will go ahead and give a presentation, and then afterwards I will take comments, questions, concerns from council, as well as people who have signed up here for the comment section. A couple of years ago, I had brought a similar ordinance, and that didn't work out so well. It was voted down, I believe, 4 to 3. This is episode 2 of that. I am the movie-making mayor, so I'm going to call this episode 2. Here's the situation. We've had a feral animal problem in not just the city, but in Logan County in general for many years. I should say that in past tense because a lot of the feral cat population has seen a reduction in those years, thanks in part to the TNR program put forth by Lisa New and helping Community Paws and Claws. We've seen significant reductions, almost to where there's not really much of an issue in those areas that she takes care of. For example, on I-35, on just one location, there was over 150 feral cats, and she reduced them to 5. This is the effectiveness of the TNR program. I would like to continue this success, not just in the surrounding areas of Guthrie, but within city limits. Here's how it works, and then I will tell you what I'm proposing in the ordinance and how it differs from other communities who have done something very similar. You have a feral colony of cats in a particular location, and there are hundreds. The way that the TNR program works is you will trap them, you will remove them, you will spay, neuter, and you will return them. There's a misconception here. The misconception is that they are returned because we are what you would call tree huggers or cat huggers, where cats have rights over humans, and they must be in your place without your consent. Who cares? That is not what this is. The return part is to reduce them, and let me explain why. It's called the vacuum effect. The cats are there for a reason. There's a dumpster, there's a trash can, or somebody is feeding them, or there's a mice infestation. They're there for a reason. If you just remove them, more cats will move in from the outskirts and set up shop. They will breed, and they will turn into 90 again. You trap those, you remove them, you will have more come in, they will breed, and they will multiply again. It doesn't stop. It's called the vacuum effect. We don't want them there either. That's what we want. We want them gone. We just know how to do it effectively. I get it. I understand. It's simple. Something's there. You remove it. It's gone. Unfortunately, that's not how it works when it comes to cats and these populations. Just to give you the effectiveness of this, these are all the communities in Oklahoma that perform TNR. Ponca City, Blanchard, Perkins, Edmond, Tulsa, Sallisaw, Norman, Veneta, Noble, Watonga, Stillwater, Altus, Ada, Pauls Valley, Sand Springs, Hobart, Jinx, among others. I can't go through the whole list. All of them do TNR. I could not find one community that tells me that it does not work. I've spoken with multiple city managers, mayors, and every single one says it works into the 90%. Last week, I spoke to the mayor of Sand Springs. He says, we've done it, we'll never go back. I talked to the mayor of Stillwater, we've done it, we will never go back. It's reduced our animal population by 95%. Now, I understand, it feels like your rights are being infringed, that these animals have to come back on. But again, we want what you want. And you also have to understand, the cats are not gonna go away. It's like that dragon fable back in the Greek story where you cut one head off, 3 will take its place. We want them gone too. 150 down to 5. There is no 0 if a vacuum effect has been proven in that area. So because of that, what I'm going to do differently than the last ordinance that I tried to pass is, if somebody has cats in a neighborhood that are feral and they want them removed, we will come and we will remove them. We will not bring them back. But if weeks later, 2 weeks later, there's more cats that come into your area, that proves what we're saying, that there then is a vacuum. There's a proven vacuum, meaning no matter how many times you remove them, it's proven they will keep returning. Only then will we do the return program. And we will do that at your consent and scheduling with you, coordinating with you. Nobody goes onto your property without your consent. And again, we want what you want. We want the cats gone. Okay, we just want to do it the right way that works in a humane manner. Okay, the last couple of things here I'll read, then I'll open this up. This is from the OK Humane Society, which is the largest animal welfare organization in Oklahoma. It says the Oklahoma Humane Society would like to express, well, first off, it's addressed to the Guthrie City Council members. The Oklahoma Humane Society would like to express our support for a trap neuter release program in the city of Guthrie. TNR has proven to control cat populations in other cities and is effective for controlling the number of cats being euthanized. As time goes on, the program becomes more effective and populations will continue to decrease since the number of unwanted kittens being born will decrease. Over the past 4 years, Oklahoma Humane Society has completed 11,593 feral cat surgeries in Oklahoma City and 1,216 around the state. We believe in TNR programs and invest in them every year to help control cat populations. I encourage the city of Guthrie to adopt a trap neuter release policy that will help control the cat population in Guthrie. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Mark Elby, CEO, Oklahoma Humane Society. And I don't need to go to even the experts to do it. I have 20 cities here that all say that it works overwhelmingly, usually about in 1 to 2 years. And it is for that reason why I am making a motion. I want to hear what everybody says, but I will be making a motion for draft 1 within this packet.
Second.
Okay, well, we're still talking. That's a motion, but we are still talking about it.
So why even bring up second?
Okay, well, a motion's
I
been
mean,
made in a
why
second.
can't you wait and hear a second? Because the second only has 2 modifications in it, very minor.
No, we're going to be here for an hour.
Well, we don't need to be here for an hour.
Well, no, I mean.
Okay, we can do this real quick.
Okay, I mean, I'm opening this up for comments and questions for everybody. I don't know what your problem is.
Okay, the problem is you make a motion before we even get to have a conversation about either or. We had meetings scheduled for a whole group that you canceled.
Well, Brian,
Okay, that we could have come in here with
You
one
can vote.
ordinance that we would have all agreed upon.
you can vote no on that, Brian.
Well, that's not the plan, Adam.
Well, I
That's
already-
not the plan.
Well, I made the motion in the second. Do you want to talk about it or not?
Whatever.
I do.
Okay.
You just stated that an individual who had animals trapped on their property don't have to take them back. Where does that say that here?
That's in the draft 1.
Draft
Councilman
one.
Williams.
It's in both of them, actually.
It's in both of them.
It's in
Okay.
both drafts.
So Lisa sent an email to all councilmen, council people and said, you encourage us not to draft not to vote on the week or accept the week draft. Did you not, the email? Was there an email or not?
Yeah, yes, there was.
Yes.
yeah.
So which one? Well, every council person received it. You addressed it to the council.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay. So which one's the weak one and why?
The weak one is the second one, the second draft. That's gonna.
Lisa, why don't you approach the
Yeah, I
podium,
was
please?
about to ask that.
Good evening, council. Thank you. Members, neighbors, supporters.
Now, what was the question?
Which draft are you calling weak and why?
So the second draft is weaker because it's saying that if an organization doesn't take the cats that are removed, then they would be euthanized. And there's no TNR grant programs that would fund that.
What item are you referring to?
She's 134C2.
The abuse exception you're calling?
The one right above
Right
it.
above it.
So, okay. So citizens' objection, cats shall not be returned to the place of origin if the citizen complaining about the cats or bringing the cats into an animal shelter objects to their return. Is that what you're referring to,
That's
Mayor?
correct.
And this makes it weak?
It does. Now read our
So you're
Adams.
disagreeing with the mayor who's,
No, that's the second draft.
That's the second draft.
The first draft is the one that, that we agree with the mayor.
which is
If you'll read it, it's
private property coordination or what?
residents, it's D, residential area calls. It gives everybody a chance. I mean, this still weakens the TNR program by even allowing them to not take them back, but there is an exclusion there to let them do that one time, because there might be a cat that might show up for some odd reason that really doesn't need to be there, and you remove it, and it's fine, it's great. And maybe another one might not move in, but if they did, we're trying to work with the public too, that we remove the first batch or the first one, and then if more moved in, then, and we got a call for, say for instance, example for you called me and said, hey, I need a cat removed, so the city would come remove that cat. Say, I think in 60 days, I think it gives 60 days, if more cats moved in and you made a call and say, hey, I need you to come get more cats, I have more cats at my house, then it would be, they would be picked up, fixed, and brought back.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, because you caused a vacuum effect, and it's making the ordinance weak by not bringing them back. That's what makes the TNR program works. That R is the most important thing to the trap, neuter, and return. Those cats are territorial. When they're fixed and they're brought back to their territory, they will not allow unaltered animals to come back into their territory. So eventually, it sustains, the colony sustains, and it gets lower.
I've done a lot of research. I didn't bring my file, which is about that thick from the first time we were here in this sense. And I see proponents and opponents on both sides of this. I'm not against the TNR idea. I'm not. However, when you first came the first time, I asked you the question, was anybody interfering with your TNR practices? You said no. How long have you been doing the TNR in commercial businesses, I guess, around town? How many years?
For 6 years, pretty
6
hard.
years. And nobody's interfered with you today?
No.
I asked you then, what do you want from the city then? What do you want to, why is this so important to include the city?
Because I want the residents to have the same opportunity. You know, 2 years ago, I had made the comment that if you guys continue to trap and euthanize cats, I would pull my program from the residential areas because it was wasting my time, money, and resources. And I did. So I've just been maintaining the outskirts, the 7 colonies that we have been, and they're almost down to nothing. I mean, there's no cats at Sonic now.
So
this would open opportunity for us to start getting resident, and I would continue to do that. Then if you guys actually pass this ordinance, I would go ahead and start hitting that. We have partnership with OK Humane, which is the CEO of OK Humane. That was where that letter come from. We have partnership with them. And Dr. Macy is the mobile unit vet, and we actually we're in partners where they come here every other month for low-cost spay and neuters for the city of Guthrie, actually the whole Logan County area. It's specifically just for Logan County and the city of Guthrie. It's low cost, and we actually help offset that cost with people that cannot afford it. And that usually is about 40 animals, maybe 20 cats, 20 dogs. By passing this ordinance, we have resources with them also that we could bring in, maybe not every other month, but possibly every month. And right now I have sponsorships to do 2 mobile units, which immediately we could bring here and do 80 cats pretty quickly. And that would be at no cost to the citizens or to you guys.
So when it goes back to a residential TNR program,
Where the cats keep breeding and multiplying.
well, I mean, regardless of whether the person living there accepts it or doesn't, they become a caregiver. Label it caregiver, right? If you trap a cat at an
Caretaker.
address.
It would be a caretaker at that.
Well, it doesn't matter,
Well,
caregiver, I mean,
caretaker,
caregiver,
But they're
caregiver.
responsible to operate a well-managed TNR program at their address.
No. We're talking about people that are already feeding cats. So like,
Well, okay, good point.
So-
Good point, because
we're not going to make you feed the cat we're bringing back to you. No, we're not going to make you do a shelter and bring it back,
Okay.
because that cat's going to probably go where its feeding station is, because now it's not having territorial problems like spaying. Usually they're in your property for a reason. They're probably spraying and probably keeping
Okay.
the other cats
feeding
away.
station. I brought an ordinance to stop feeding stray animals,
Correct.
which I withdrew because I knew I couldn't get the vote and everybody wanted to crucify the guy. But and I read a lot of material, and the way to stop cats from coming on your property is, one, make sure there's no food for them, and protect your outbuildings so they're not harboring in those. So removing the food source is one way, and I know this is absolutely true because I battled this for 20 years with a neighbor who unfortunately is in the nursing home now. So that feeding stopped, feeding station's gone, cat's gone. So are the skunks and the possums and everything that went with it. But the well-managed TNR program specifically states steps to set out food at certain times of day, withdraw that food, provide shelter. So if these caregivers now, and it says here caregiver responsibilities, who are you talking about then? You're not talking about those people in those neighborhoods who have these cats returned, whether against their will or not. Who's the caregiver then?
Well, probably the lady down the street. I don't know.
But-
I can't tell you where their
Okay.
feeding station,
But
and they could be
according
getting
to
rats
this,
from.
There's a violation with a caregiver that doesn't do it the right way.
Okay, well, I'm not going to trap and neuter. Like, I have open communication. For one, I want to clear up immediately that we never trap on property that we do not have permission to be on.
understand.
So we never do that. And I get calls all the time saying, I've got 20 cats, you need to come get them. I'm going, I'm sorry, that's not part of my program. My program is TNR because the R is the most important thing of this.
I understand.
So the people that call me are already feeding a stray, and they're wanting to get ahead of not having 50 cats. So,
I understand.
and I'm not doing that now here in the residence, so they just keep having babies. So it has,
I understand.
on the west side, it's like Mrs. Higgins, that was a problem when we were here last time, that had, the 48 cats that I did. She's down to a happy 9, but everything around her is like, I'm talking terrible. Like, if we pass this, that's where I'm going to target with our unit, because it's really unbelievable how many cats are over there.
Then maybe I should direct this to the mayor. The caregiver responsibilities. Records. Caregivers should keep reasonable records of sterilization and rabies vaccinations status for cats they manage, and make records available to animal welfare upon request. If caregivers are keeping records that they should have ready to turn over, then that doesn't just sound like the lady down the street is feeding the cats. Who's the caregiver? Because this leads me to believe that a caregiver is responsible to monitor the health of the colony. And then there's the return requirement. After recovery from surgery, vaccination, an ear-tip cat shall be returned to its original location unless veterinary care is still required. The location is demonstrably unsafe or relocation is approved. Okay, who determines whether it's demonstrably unsafe to return the cat to the location that there's no caregiver feeding, watering, or sheltering?
Well, that would be animal control.
Well, I mean, they're already, the people that are calling are already doing those measures.
I think that's the big clarification. I was just going to
Yeah,
ask that
those people are
question.
already doing, okay, for
Okay,
instance.
can I ask?
Sure.
I think because I'm confused too, when I read this about the caregivers and maintaining clean feeding areas, yada, yada, yada. So these are, just to clarify, these are people you already have on a, let's say on a waiting list.
I have a
that has
list.
Called you and said, I have these
Yes.
cats, I am feeding them, I'm taking care of them, but they are multiplying, they're getting ahead of me, I need your help.
Yes.
And so they've already been doing the work.
Yes.
They're already caregivers,
Correct.
quote unquote, according to this. So you're not coming in to say, now you're gonna
No.
do this, do that,
No,
because they're
no.
already doing it. They're
Okay, so-
already willing participants in the program.
Let me give you
Correct,
clarification real quick. So I brought 100, these are just 100 cats that I manage right now, okay?
In
And
the
I'm-
city limits?
I'm their, no, some are, yeah, some are, some are not. But I just wanted to kind of show you the records that we keep. May I approach? This is just from OK Humane. I work with several organizations for low-cost spay and neuter. So what I do is I put where cage 1, because these are feral cats, so they don't have names. They got colors and characteristics, but no names. So cage 1, I'm not going to say the man's name or his address, but that's how I know where that cat come from. Has rabies, vaccinated for FRCV or FBRCP, which is basically kitty parvo, panluca, and calicivirus. So those are on board, plus rabies. And you asked me about and it says it right there. We do not put rabies tags on them because we don't do
Well, let
policy.
me ask you about rabies since you're on the subject.
That's great.
Here's the CDC information for veterinarians that states they don't consider the animal vaccinated, truly vaccinated until after a booster. But
That
you're
is-
not going out and delivering boosters to these.
Nope, that's
these-
correct. But they have one booster that the titers usually last longer than 2 years without that, and it's better than what they had.
I agree.
So, I
But-
mean,
Can
we
we
don't go
call-
back and retrap them. Now, some of my colonies, if I'm trapping and I happen to pick up another cat and I know that they're due for the vaccine, I'll go ahead and take them in and boost that. Same thing with caregivers. Most caregivers can kind of touch their feral cats. They're not really like friendly enough to pick up and stuff, but they come and rub on your legs. If they happen to get one in a cage, I'm sure, they know they want to take and get them vaccinated also.
How can you keep up with 100 cats without a chip that tells you vaccination dates and so on and so forth?
Well, there was another ordinance I was want to pass for spay and neuter, and that was one of the things I wanted. I think the city, anything that goes out of the shelter, I think should be microchipped. I think that way and I wanted to put microchip stations around, readers, so that when people in the middle of the night call me, they don't come to my house. I can say, hey, there's one over on First Street, scan it, and everything on there will tell you how to do it. Eventually, we'd get all the animals chipped, and I was wanting to propose that do microchipping instead of city tags. If you have a microchip, you would exempt the city tag. That way, when animal control come and scan that pet, we would kind of get it on. But that's a whole nother, I'm not gonna get off on
That's
that.
not how you
Let's
keep
stick
up
to.
with 100 cats and identify them by color.
Tracy, let me just say one thing, and I'm going to direct it to you too, Adam. Because the only, and you as well, Lisa, the only change, modification I've done to your entire document, the whole thing, was I added a permission to come to my property slip. That's it.
No,
Yeah,
Yes.
but that slip also.
I didn't add this, others added this other stuff.
you have exemptions on
Hold
there.
on a second, I said what I added.
Okay.
Okay, so the only thing I personally added was a form that allows them to call you up and say, hey, I want to trap these cats. Okay, so Brian Bothroyd agrees, you're trapping the cats. I want them back. All of a sudden, I become the caregiver because I'm having them back.
That's what I read.
Okay,
Well, you
that's the
are.
way it is. Okay, and I sign off on the document. Now there is no ifs, ands, or buts. You have the form that says, I want them back. Now, if I say, I don't want them back, then
That's
you
great.
either say, okay, so we're gonna trap them and take them away, but we're never coming back again. If it happens again, you gotta call animal control. Or they're gonna come back. Simple as that. And that's the only thing that I did to your document was add that other one. In conversations with others, that other verbiage came up. okay? So,
But it's still there.
well, it may be there, but the thing is, do you have a problem with the form, the permission form?
Only if it overrides the ordinance.
How does
So-
it override the ordinance? The
Because
permission form-
somebody's signing it saying that I do not want this cat back.
Then you don't trap them. Then you don't do the TNR there. Animal control's called and
Okay,
they
well,
come take care
well,
of it.
let me make something real clear right now. My program will always stay like it is, and I will
Right.
never do TNR that somebody tells me that they have to be removed and can't
Well,
be
that's
brought
what I'm
back.
saying. So
So
they become
that,
the
I
care-
will never do
by-
that.
by
because
doing that,
that's
Lisa-
wasting my time and money.
Okay, Lisa, the only reason I voted against it last time is because we could never come together on the people that didn't want the cats back.
Yeah,
That's
you
the only reason.
wanted me to take the responsibility for the cats and put them in a kitty city,
No,
not
I
you.
didn't say that. I wanted to meet and figure out a solution. We never were able to do that.
I never understood that. I misunderstood that. I'm
Okay, well,
sorry.
that's what the goal, and that's what the goal was the other day, was to come up with a solution on what happens when they don't want them back. So we didn't have the meetings, so I came up with a form that when you go to the house, they sign off on the form that they want the cats back.
Well, I think somebody ought to take I think somebody, as a
So,
city
can you put the
side, I don't
form up,
have to have.
Eddie? Can you put the form, have the form put up?
Yes, Aaron,
You know, I think.
I'm okay with the
this
form.
also
That's all I put
I'm
in there.
okay with the
That's the
form.
only thing I did.
No, you also put on there that.
That's from
okay.
Oklahoma City, that's not, I didn't come up with that verbiage.
The verbiage about me,
Okay.
like,
So we're
it
just
would be
talking
my,
about the form.
Right now, we're talking about the form because that is what protects the homeowner, the Chris Evans of the world, or the Eddies, or me, or anybody on this board, or anybody in this room, that if they want the cats back, they check the little box, which you're gonna see here in a minute.
But that's not
Now
gonna-
they become the caregiver.
but that's not gonna make them the owner of the community
It's not gonna
cat.
make them the
Right,
owner of the
exactly,
community cats, but
right.
they're taking
I'm okay with that.
responsibility.
I'm okay with that.
They're taking the
I
responsibility.
think that's very smart.
Somebody's gotta feed the cats.
No, I think it's
Because
very
when you
smart.
bring the cats back to Grant's house, all they're gonna do is eat out of his trash dumpster.
No, he
Okay, well
feed-
then, there you go, he's
Yeah.
feeding them. Okay, so somebody's gotta feed the cats.
I do not put,
But Grant
Cats
is a willing
back.
participant, though, in that program.
When you sign off on this form, so are you.
Okay, so I just want to
There it is,
interject
right here.
really quick and say that this form can alleviate the questions that Deanna and also Tracy had on who a caregiver is.
Well, that's what I just said.
I know, and that's all
Right.
I'm reiterating,
Okay.
that is helpful. It's just a helpful tool to
Right.
go with.
and you'll have a form too that you were at that house before saying don't bring it, means
Yes.
the other cats go back.
And
Because
if they check, if they say, well, look.
I'm okay with that.
I'm on option number 2, they're not coming back to
No,
my
I think that-
property,
I
but you
mean-
need to take them, and you're gonna say, well, this is the second time I've done it, so I'm not gonna take them, you have to call animal control, that's why that other verbiage is in there. The other verbiage doesn't even need to be in there, because animal control already has an ordinance on what they can or can't do. This is never gonna sup animal control.
And what is that ordinance, Brian?
Don, whatever it is. I didn't go through that because, again, I'm trying to resolve this particular ordinance here by giving permission to come on and bring the cats back.
So can I ask a quick question? If we are all
So Adam,
okay,
therefore, I don't have to vote no.
right, right, so if we're all in agreement, if I'm understanding this correctly, including
I don't know. I have a few
HCPC,
more
let's clarify.
questions, but keep going.
if we're all in agreement with this form, which is displayed on the screen, then what is the main difference between ordinance 1 and ordinance 2?
Oklahoma City's verbiage in 134-C.
There's the exemption,
For the-
exclusion clause
Exclusion clause.
eternally.
Where Oklahoma City's verbiage is in there.
So, may I speak? I have one question. So, when this was revised prior to that, you know, I was pretty much okay with letting the citizens take one strike, you're out type deal. But they were supposed to, my understanding was going to go to the kitty city that was going to be built better. And then we were going to form a barn program where and a barn program is not just come get cats and take them not fixed. There's a strict protocol to relocate feral or community cats. It's not as easy as you think that they just come get them
That's terrible.
and take them to their barn and just throw them out there in their barn. And that's been the practice in the past. And I just soon euthanize them than to do that to them because you're basically sending them to a very cruel death.
Well, this,
So I was okay with that, but this revised part is not saying that. It's saying that if a rescue organization like myself does not accept them, then they will go to euthanization.
well, it says, I don't know if that's what it's, that's Oklahoma City's verbiage.
So,
This is
can I?
our ordinance now that we're trying to pass. I want
Okay,
that.
so the only thing you want to add, Brian, is a form. That's it. That's all you want to add.
That's what I'm adding, but there is others that added other verbiage in here,
Okay.
and I want to, let's tear the verbiage apart. Okay, if we're doing it right at this point, if I say, no, I don't want the cats back, which I wouldn't do anyway. I am a cat lover, by the way. Doesn't come off that way, but I am. Okay, and I have
believe you.
cats. I have cats.
I believe
I
you.
feed the stray
Yeah,
that
that's
comes
good.
up. Okay, but
Did-
I also have land, so I don't have neighbors that they're bothering. And so
Mm-hmm.
what happens is, if I were feeding, I become the caregiver and I'm feeding 10 cats,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that just came back, and they're not staying on my property, but I'm feeding them there, and that's where they're coming to eat and stuff, but they're going to Chris's property.
Yeah, the
and
neighbors.
tearing his stuff
The neighbors, yeah.
or somebody else's property, Deanna's property, and
Right.
tearing, torturing the dog, whatever they're doing. You know, then how do we handle that?
So
We don't.
you would call and say, hey, I need these cats TNR'd. The reason why they're.
No, they're
ma-
already TNR'd.
Well,
Let's say they're already TNR'd.
usually, although, I mean, that's very slim that happens. Usually, I mean, every feeding station that I have has a dumpster, and they're never in the dumpster anymore. They are literally waiting for their cat food, not dirty, gross stuff that's in the dumpster. They're literally waiting for me at their feeding
So
station.
they're hanging out in the person's backyard that gave the permission to bring
Yes,
them
they
back.
hardly ever, they don't have any reason
I
to
don't know
roam.
the answer.
That's their safe spot.
Yeah, and I get his point, him saying because they're doing stuff all over your house, they're
Right.
going to Chris's house, et cetera.
Right.
But what we're trying to get everybody to understand is if you remove those cats, more. This is a
Unsterilized
proven
cats will come
vacuum
in.
effect of that area, meaning it's going to be a different set of cats that are going to come in and do it anyways. At least with our method, it will be 2, not 90.
not 10,
That's the
yeah.
point. You only have 2 options. It's 90 cats or 2.
Well, I've done a lot of
There's no
research.
0.
I've-
But maybe there is a chance there could be 0, which is why we're doing
There
that
already is.
first
I mean, there's-
exemption clause to see if, hey, we can remove them, maybe some don't come back, and it's a one-off.
I think that's a
right?
good
That's why
happy
we're doing
medium.
it.
Yeah, I think
why
that's a
we're doing
good,
that, right.
good.
Well,
You don't
let's,
want them
let's
there.
realize this isn't your, TNR has been around for a long time. This isn't you. Okay,
Well-
at the end of the day, it's not. I mean, you're not creating an ordinance that's outside of what TNR does.
Well,
Okay.
the exemption, what I mean by ours is that the exemption,
This-
the first
the-
time.
the
The
first
exemption,
draft.
the exemption is the first time. That is kind of a, that's a twist on it. a bit.
Right, that's what I
I'll
meant
give you
by
that.
ours. I'm not
Yeah,
saying we invented
the
it.
form is a twist on it to some degree too. But others also do get permission to come onto properties and bring cats back. All this form does is validate.
Your form's great, Brian.
Yeah, it's
I'm
validated.
good with that.
That's the only thing I ever wanted to do. But others have issues with where the cats are gonna go when they come back. Just because I say they can come back, none of my constituents have said they want them back.
Well-
That's the problem.
Because they don't understand.
Well,
They
I
think-
get they
think
don't
we're-
understand.
They haven't done the
bringing them back
research.
because, again, she's a cat.
But
the
there
cat
is
hugger
another
that wants
thing,
to-
another thing too, is I've driven around and driven around and driven around. I can't find these colonies. And I've looked.
It's because the feral cats come out at night. They
And
don't,
you
they don't come out and say, hey, look at me.
Okay.
Only friendly cats do that.
Okay, well, once they're TNR'd, they do, right?
No, they stay in their hiding places and they stay close to their shelter
Okay.
that we provide and their food station. They do not leave I'm telling you, I do this. I'm boots on the ground. I consider myself an expert at it. I've done a lot of them. I talk cat, I think cat. I'm telling you, maybe I'm that cat tree hugger. I don't know. But I'm
Well-
going to do it in a humane way. And I would like
Right.
for it, can we do the video? That will kind of help really sum up a lot of questions that people have.
But before we do that though, let's get to this Oklahoma City. How can Oklahoma City just be blatantly wrong on their
Okay, well,
clause,
if,
on their exemption clause?
okay.
Go ahead.
My answer.
Can we state the exemption clause? Or
Yeah.
is that, are you talking about
I'm talking
item
about these-
one on?
yeah, I'm
on
talking about the
second
draft
ordinance,
two,
On
yeah.
draft 2?
Yes.
They have a very good barn home program, and that's why it says either, and they have a lot of rescue groups that work with the Oklahoma City shelter.
But they have that as a last resort. It's kind of just like, what happens if we
You're
have,
saying this verbiage was exactly taken from the Oklahoma City verbiage?
pretty much, yeah.
Well, and,
Well, yeah.
I
most
would,
of the, most of the Oklahoma City's success
I don't
comes
think
from
so.
commercial
I
and
could be
like
wrong.
places like Lake Hefner where they had hundreds and then now they're down to 10, et cetera.
they have a really good tenor
Right,
program there.
and again, you'll see their highest populations of feral problems in places where there are exemptions.
And you were stating that objective is with Oklahoma City and these larger communities and shelter partnerships that do this program. And I understand, because I underlined this section and put a question mark by it, under this citizen objection in draft 2, because it says, and it came directly from Oklahoma City's exception ordinance, says, if the cats are not reclaimed by their owner, so
Right.
this is once they're
Correct.
trapped, if they are not reclaimed by their owner and cannot be returned to their place of origin. So the homeowner says, come get them,
Correct.
I don't want them back. The cats may be turned over to a rescue organization or euthanized. Now, the difference between what this says and in Oklahoma City and Guthrie, Oklahoma is
Adoption.
is adoption.
And
It's
barn home
partnerships
program.
with rescue organizations. We, as I don't know, Chief, I mean, maybe there are partnerships with rescue organizations through the shelter, but Oklahoma City has an out. There's a tunnel out of the shelter.
And that's how you
to
get
these
funding.
other-
Yes.
You don't get
but
funding
where-
if
where
there's
I'm going-
euthanization.
That's two separate issues.
Where I'm going with that is that this is the exception right here, and it is verbatim.
Yeah.
Right, and no one's arguing about that.
Yeah, well,
It's
no, we are,
arguing
well,
they
no, we are,
can't-
because that's an exemption repeatedly. So if a homeowner has 50 cats and they trap, neuter, and want to bring them back and they say no, they get 50 cats again.
Well-
They just keep doing it over and over again, expecting
No,
it to change in 20 years.
But that exemption, in my opinion, would all of a sudden go to the animal shelter, and the animal shelter at that point has to enact the exemption, and they have to go trap the cats because back, and this is the second, third time, whatever it is, okay? And so there has to be something that animal control can take care of. And I know Billy said that we already have an ordinance in place where they can do it anyway. But if it's in there, then it's just clear.
Well, and if they trap a tip deer kitty, there's to let
I'm
it
not talking
out.
about a tip deer kid.
Well, I'm just wanting to add that to that.
Yeah,
In
I'm not
Oklahoma
talking
City,
about
the
that.
difference about what we're doing in Oklahoma City, they pay for everything.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City pays for, anybody in the city limits of Oklahoma City gets TNR for free and gets spay and neuters for free. The city of Oklahoma City pays for that, every bit of it,
It's true, I read it today. Now,
every bit of it. And you've got an
Deanna has
organization
brought a lot
here
of
that's brought,
information to me. She's talked to several people with TNR programs, Norman, Edmund, you name it. So I want to hear what you have to say.
Deanna's really done her research, and I thank
She
you for
really
that,
has, and I
Deanna.
appreciate it.
Well, I've got all my papers here.
Yeah,
and
I know.
have a highlighter in my bag in
I know.
case we need to highlight
I appreciate
anything
that.
else. I don't really have anything in particular to say other than 25 other cities. I mean, I can't be wrong.
No.
I don't know why this is
So
such
hard.
an issue. But it does need to be discussed, and I want to make certain when we leave here today that all the questions are answered.
clear.
And
Right.
and I hope it doesn't take too much time, but there's a lot of this, that needs to be covered. I do, Lisa, if you could just, because when I hear trap, neuter, and return, and this is what I do, and this is how the program works, until I saw it myself with my own 2 eyes, it made a lot more sense. And so I can read it on this paper in black and white all day long, but until you actually see it and hear it from step 1 to step 20,
You've seen it all.
it's hard to wrap your head around. And I think that's why there's so much ambivalence about it. But at the end of the day, if we have an exception and we have the form and we have logs.
And you have my help, you have my help.
To log this
Money-wise,
form and
yeah.
kind of keep track of, now, where does this form go? That's my next, would kind of be a
Should
question.
go to the city, it should go to the second floor to Kim.
I don't know. I think that
Or
should probably
animal
fall
control.
I think that should be filed I think both. I think you should get one and probably the animal
I think it should go to the second floor and animal
City,
control get
Yes.
one.
city manager, what?
That way they can pull up by last name of residence and see, hey, have they already had cats removed from that property? Have they not?
Not,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, not utility office. We're not going to put that on Kim or her staff.
That's a lot. It is a lot.
You've got to decide where that's
Yeah,
gonna go.
yeah. We'll,
That's an Eddie thing.
staff will take care of that.
And I think it needs to go to one place. If we have it in
Yeah, I agree.
duplicate, that's gonna.
I would say
create
file
more
it
issues.
at, well, the animal control officers are one's going to be getting all the calls. She's going to be, or he's going to be the one that's doing the trapping and the returning and going to the vets. I will help on my end. I'll continue to do what I'm doing. You know, we brought little over, about $225,000 since 2021 of free animal welfare to the city of Guthrie, to the county also. But mostly I've done city. That's including owned animals that we pay for. My goal is, I don't like to beat the same drum. I'm a fixer. I work you've seen the kind of work that I do with this TNR thing. It's not for somebody that doesn't, if you didn't have a passion for it, you darn sure wouldn't do it for free. My husband tells me all the time, you work harder than anybody I know for free. Because I take zero money from my nonprofit for this, and I take zero money from doing anything to do with the TNR stuff. None of it comes from, nothing puts anything in my pocket. I was paying for my fuel until recently.
Well, let's talk about that, because in the news report, you said something about grants.
Correct.
You've been doing this long. Have you applied for grants?
I have, and we have got some grants too. And a couple of those I actually applied myself and got them.
By us passing this ordinance, do you get, or bigger grants gonna be?
Yes,
reality?
well, more opportunity will, because between the municipalities and the 501c3, if you're partnered that way, it opens up a whole, Bissell has some, it
But
opens.
see, then at that point, we've been involved in those before, so at that point.
They do matching grants?
Somebody's gotta take the grant. Who takes the grant? The city?
Well, it will be as a whole, probably. I'm not sure how that looks on that end. I don't really know. I
Because the
mean.
city has to guarantee so much when they take a grant, when they're partnered with
Well,
grants.
but it's a partnership deal, so those would be together. So if we got a grant together, it would be, the numbers would be together.
But one of the stipulations is that you do have to be partnered with a nonprofit
That's correct.
organization like that. And that's why, when you look up these cities, it's funny, when you Google it in and ask, only like 3 will pop up. But when you say in adjacent with another organization, then they all pop up because
A bunch of them pop up.
Yeah, they all are connected to an organization because they all sought grants.
And you can
So-
do a grant on your own. So if the city does take the TNR ordinance goes into place, it does open you up as a city to do grants by yourself
In the
too.
past, Hope House, for example, we turned them down on a grant because they had to partner with us on a grant.
Okay.
Okay, and we become a responsible party at that point.
Yeah, I understand that,
On the
yeah.
monies
Well, and
that
you
are
got,
given.
and
And so-
works both ways.
I understand, okay, but again, we're not the city, I mean,
We're
we're
not
the council.
partnering, we're
but-
not partnering, this ordinance is not making you partner with me right now, okay? That we're still separate entities.
so
And
I
if we
have-
want to talk about grants, and I can come up with a grant, or you guys can come up with a grant, and we have good communication on that, then we go from there. But right now, that's not what we're doing right now.
So, again, I go back to the reason last time I went against this was because my constituents said, what is gonna happen when we don't want it back, you have to fix that. And so, there was no fixing it. Steve and I tried, we had multiple meetings, it wasn't gonna happen.
Well,
So now
our-
the form, in my opinion, fixes that. Now, Deanna, you were gonna say something about exemptions. Tell me more about what you're talking about. What do you wanna see other than the form?
No, well,
Nothing,
all
she
I was
was
gonna say was, I wanted to read that, about the cats that are not able to be returned because the owner or the resident signs this form, and the cats go, from reading this, kind of just like they do now, to the shelter. So if they're not adopted out of the shelter, then, or to a rescue organization, or euthanized. So, and that's in ordinance draft 2.
Correct.
So, I just wanted to understand that the rescue, this isn't stating that Lisa or HCPC isn't the rescue. The cats don't go to her, correct?
No.
They
No.
don't. I
No.
mean, there's nowhere to.
No, the
They
animal
would-
shelter,
they-
animal
it would-
shelter takes them.
It would be an option for me, but I would say no, because I take,
So then the shelter
Yeah.
would decide what kind of program or how to get them
Adopted out, or if
to
not, they'd have to be euthanized.
so I did want
That's
to show
how I
you
read that
something.
as well.
So the yellow folders are all the kitties that I have pulled, that I was able to pull from the TNR program. There's 35 here that are in our adoption program right now. So 15 of them are Meow Mochas, and the rest are at the house, getting old enough to be able to go be put in the Meow Moco. That was a great place, an inlet for us to put cats. If I find a friendly cat that nobody claims, and I don't put cats back that are friendly and adoptable. I don't. I just don't. And when I trap 5 and there's one friendly meow, and I try to find its owner and we don't find it, it goes into my adoption program and I adopt it out. So I'm not just putting every single cat back. I mean, I've reduced the population, a lot of it, just by pulling some of that also. And the kittens, the tiny kittens.
Some do have to go back. Some do have to go back.
Some do have to go back, correct.
To ward off other cats
Right.
from coming into the colony.
Also,
That's-
the ordinance doesn't allow for people to come back twice.
There's,
No, there is. There is. Sometimes you just don't know what it is. There is a reason they're coming in.
yes, correct. It could be, it could be,
When you were here the first time,
excuse me?
you corrected me when you walked in, before the council meeting ever started, Guthrie walked in and said, "What's going on?" And I said, "We have a cat problem." You said, "It's a people problem."
It is a people
You're
problem.
absolutely correct.
It is a people problem.
So where's the enforcement to stop the people from setting out food or attracting the cats?
Okay, so that's a city problem, not my
Okay,
problem.
all right, well, it
But,
should be Well, there you go.
But-
That's enforcement that should be addressed and
But-
should be followed up on, because that's just as much as stopping this as anything else. But let me go back to caregiver for a moment, okay? Caregivers are the willing ones that take the cats? Is that the ones that you're calling caregivers, or anybody?
okay, so we're not taking any cats that aren't already existing at
I
that
know,
property.
But who's a caregiver?
Whoever's feeding that, whoever it
But there's
is.
violations for enforcement for caregivers that don't comply with caregiver responsibilities. That's what it says right here in 3-139 enforcement.
We're not going to pull a cat from your house and make you be the
That's not
caregiver.
about- It's about a caregiver, failure to comply with caregiver responsibilities after a written notice is a violation of this article.
Okay, so let me give you an example.
So what are they enforcing?
Okay, let me give you an example. So I come to your house, say you got 20 cats in town. I come and trap, neuter, and return 20 cats. And then city gets a call that, a nuisance about these cats. Well, they're probably fixed and vaccinated, but now that caregiver's not giving them that food, water, and shelter. So now those cats are gonna have to go find something else. That gives Chief Swagger a chance, then you would actually fine that caregiver for not complying with the TNR ordinance that you are,
Okay.
you are the caregiver, and if you don't take care of these cats, those cats are gonna be, they're starving, they're gonna probably try to
And
find
these
resources.
caregivers are voluntary caregivers.
They're cats that just show up at people's house, they feel sorry for them, and they feed them. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, they don't go get cats and say, hey, these are cats.
I
that
see
are
the confusion. I think what Tracy's trying to say is that, yes, there are people like you who will go around to feeding stations and do it. Is that what the caregiver is, or is that staff? Or are you going to someone's house and saying, you've got a cat problem, we've taken them, they're returning, so we're gonna TNR them and bring them back, and you're gonna water them, and you're gonna feed them?
Exactly.
Well, and
Is that
that's-
right?
And
They're already
shelter.
doing
And-
it.
But that's exactly what the form
Taking care
is
of all the
designed to do.
Yeah, they're already
The form is
doing
to say,
it.
Adam, you are the one, because you want them back, you're gonna feed and water these cats.
And you're going, no, I'm not gonna feed more of those cats, I want them out of here.
Well,
So you
then they
feed-
go
then you-
out.
Right, exactly.
But if you do
One
agree to
time.
that, and I'll refer back to Tracy on this, let's say Adam agreed to that, okay, and it's proof on the form, there is no he said, she said, and he's not doing that, then yeah, he could be, then all of a sudden that article and the corrective measures could be obviously taken. I don't know who's gonna monitor that.
But when you go to his house that happens to be in that deal, you can't take that cat.
Yeah,
tip their
nobody's
kitties.
talking about taking the tip their
I'm just
kitties.
saying that when you go to a residence that says, I don't want the cats back, and maybe we TNR'd some cats, and for some reason it ended up that place, those cats are protected. So those cats have to be
Okay.
let out unless they're like
Okay, so
skinny.
I think, Lisa, why can it not be that if the city is saying, we are going to, it's proven there's a vacuum effect in a neighborhood, in an alley. So we are gonna then enforce a trap, neuter, return here. Is it not the city's then responsibility to be the one that drives by and feeds the feeding stations?
No,
No, that's not,
Okay,
we're not-
that's what he's trying to ask. is
no.
Saying, why do we need to commit?
No,
our
y'all aren't
people
gonna do no
to
feeding
regulating
stations.
this
No, no, no,
program?
no, 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 no. Y'all, no.
Look, here's the thing,
That's
she's
what I
not
read.
doing residential now, she's only doing commercial.
I know.
So if she starts residential, they sign the form, they're clearly the caregiver.
When I go to a place I will not, if I get any kind of inkling at all that they're not going to take care of that cat once I bring it back, I just don't do it.
Lisa, can I ask you a question? So,
Sure.
you said at the beginning that you had concerns on the second version, making it more difficult for
Grant
grants,
writing,
right? Is it the euthanasia language in there?
Yeah,
If
it's-
that language is stricken, would that,
If that said, would be brought in for an organization or to a barn home program, then that's going to make your grant writing more significant.
but
Let me
the
ask
rescue
this, does
organization-
Oklahoma City, do they get grants?
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah.
This is their verbiage.
But they have a barn home program.
Right.
That's the
Okay,
difference.
but this also opens up the ability to have a barn program or
Yes.
to have a rescue program that might not be in place now.
Yeah.
But we can create one.
Yes.
And then we don't have to reinvent the wheel
The wheel,
again.
I agree, yeah.
Under the
Correct.
same article. It allows for it to be there.
Yes,
So it allows for something to happen later that might not be established now.
correct. And I'm not opposed to euthanasia. I'm really not. Like, if we have feral cats in the kitty city, 6 months, that last batch was too long, but, and they need to be fixed when they're in that kitty city because they were getting pregnant in the kitty city, and we don't get those, we have absolutely no resources for that, and they've been, then
there-
I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't want cats
So
or dogs to be in
that's-
cages all the
that's-
time.
That's my point. So I go back to Deanna on this deal. I'm gonna throw it over to you on here. Because
Hey.
you said, you said they have the barn community, so therefore this doesn't apply. But this is in their ordinance. This is theirs. Okay, so it does apply. Because that verbiage is in Oklahoma City's today.
But they have a barn home
But it doesn't
program.
matter. It's still in their
Yeah.
ordinance. And so it's not affecting them getting grants, is it? That's my question.
I've read about the barn program today.
I'd love to have a barn program.
So, but that has to be purchased or volunteered.
Well, no, that has to be, you don't put cats in a kitty city not fixed, letting them get pregnant there, so they
I'm talking about a
immediately
barn
get.
program.
So-
You have to have a location that is purchased by.
Oh, no,
Or-
so it's just a
Donate.
kitty city where we can have cats that are not adoptable, they're feral cats, a place
They
to put
live
them
their
for.
life there.
for-
You still have to have a barn, don't you?
But, well, y'all have a kitty city now.
Places that
Where's that gonna
volunteer.
Y'all already have one.
There's farms.
At the
that-
shelter.
There's places all around counties
So
that
it's just,
volunteer.
okay, so, okay, barn home, let me go back and talk about barn homes. So what barn homes mean is that these cats are not adoptable to be like your cuddly pet in the home. So cats work for food, but there's a strict protocol about sending cats to barn homes. Like my barn, for instance, got 20 cats in it that I have 50 cats at my house right now from the city of Guthrie that I could have dumped. I mean, I'm trying to do my part, trying to keep you guys from having to take the whole responsibility. That they should have gone to the shelter, but I'm trying to do my part to get them fixed and try to find them homes. Will they ever get euthanized at my house? No, because they can live there until I get them adopted. So now I can't take any more barn homes. So I trapped some cats that can't go back to that location. Sometimes that happens if it's like at a gas station. I pulled some over at the Valero that they absolutely could not go back. So they come into my barn home program where I selectively people, I don't even know where to start. It's such a big protocol you can't just say, hey, I want barn kitties and go pick them up and take them to the barn and throw them out and say, hey, this is your new house and I'm your new caregiver. They're going to take off and they never come back to that place, and they have such a homing device. They try to come back to their original location, so they ultimately starve and die. It takes about 6 weeks to do it correctly. I've had to go, and I don't mind because I want this, I mean, I work hard for this, so I want it to be successful and I want them to be okay. So I will go take cages and put it to the barn locations, and I actually train these people that they have to feed and water and clean the litter box every day, and it takes about 6 weeks for them to get used to that. They open the cage and the cats hang around, and then they've got barn kitties, and they're required to do the same thing. They feed, water, and take care of them.
So I have one more question and a statement, I'm done.
Okay.
You said you've eliminated 80% of this population in 2 years.
Correct.
But you've been doing it for 6, so why do we have any of them?
Well, you don't want to completely get rid of them because you want them to stabilize the colony. So like I said, the Sonic here in town has 0. And I promise you before.
There'll be more because of the dumpster.
But I watched that. So if Jane calls me and says, hey, I have a new kitty that showed up, I would be over there immediately to trap it and return it back there, and they love it because
So this is a never-ending cycle, right?
oh yeah, you have to manage them. You can't.
Forever.
Well, it's, if you
Okay, I
don't,
mean, that's fine if that's the
so
answer.
it's
I don't
either
understand.
a feral problem forever, or you manage a
Okay,
very
I got you.
low,
But here-
healthy,
and here's-
vaccinated
I got you.
colony.
Here's my final statement.
Yeah.
The one thing that hasn't been discussed or covered here is
Okay.
what brought me 2 years ago to this point of saying, I can't approve of that. And that's this. I set up a TNR program at Deanna's house, and I'm 3 houses down, and her cats, TNR cats, community cats, are continually coming to my flower bed, which happened for 20 years, and defecate in my brand-new mulch every year,
I get it.
and I can't say no to it now because it's a law.
Well,
It's a
no,
rule.
well, no, you can, if it keeps coming to your house, they're gonna remove it.
They're gonna come trap it and return it to her house down the street.
No, you get the first buyout, you get to have that cat
Not if
removed
it's
right
tipped,
then.
not if
There's
it's deer
20
tipped.
cats over there, and
If it's tipped, no, you're correct. It's not, they're not gonna be able to do that. But most of
right,
the time, the
exactly.
cats do not, like my house, my cats don't go anywhere. They stay by, they're fat, they stay by the feeding station. I mean, they're there, so.
Okay.
That may
okay.
happen occasionally, but
but a cat-
generally,
if there's 5, 10, 20 cats and you use the number 20
yeah, there's,
in a yard, eating,
yeah,
Colony.
I don't know, dogs won't go crap in their own yard. They'll go to the neighbor's.
that's
yard.
correct.
Are cats
And we
gonna-
don't have this issue with the dogs, and it's a big issue with a
Yeah,
lot of
okay,
people.
But are cats the same? Are they gonna go somewhere else to?
Okay,
Yes, they are, and
so,
they're gonna do it in my flower bed, and I'm opposed to it.
okay, so, since we brought back 2 years ago and we brought this ordinance, I can remember an instance that said, I don't like the cats coming and pottying in my granddaughter's sandbox. I'm really sorry that, that's really and truly, it's up on you guys to put a cover over that, because I promise you, not just cats are pooping in your sandbox. There's possums and there's
But we're
raccoons
talking
that.
about a cat.
But I'm just telling
I
you,
can't say
you
no.
as a responsible landowner or a residential owner has to take some, like Don Channel, I took spray, I took stuff that he never used, he never
I
even
use
tried
Plenty
it.
of stuff.
There's things in your cabinet probably right now that you can deter those cats. I have a cat that's in my house that wants to continually get on top of my table. I just bought that little tray that has the little spike things on it. They don't cut them, but I set them right there where she jumps on to get on there, and guess what? I've not had a problem, and I don't even have to have it there anymore.
I think the thing to remember though, again, Tracy, is just that if it's not the 7, 10, or whatever tipped cats at Deanna's house that's coming over to yours, it's gonna be 90.
Correct,
They're
because they're already there, not being fixed, and they're just going to
There
get
is no
more.
zero. If there was, we would do it.
We're not bringing any more cats in a
And
location
that's
that's
all
already
good
there.
and fine. And I read somewhere in here, I've read so much material than over the weekend.
Trust me.
My entire weekend going back
I
over
know.
this. Where,
And I appreciate you for doing
It says that
that.
if the public is well informed,
Mm-hmm.
most of them would accept it. I'm not even gonna argue with that. All what I'm saying is, if there's a TNR program 2 houses down from me with 10 cats in it, and they're coming over to my yard, and I can't call animal control to trap them, then I'm not happy with that. I'm a tax-paying citizen, and I don't believe I should be perpetrated on by an animal.
That's
Period.
that's one instance that you're talking about that usually doesn't happen when TNR is being done.
Okay.
And if they, and Tracy, if they can be removed and stay gone, like, that's why we're doing that first right of refusal, where if we can remove them with your rights that you're talking about.
Tip your
Right,
kitties,
yeah,
that's
we'll keep them
correct.
away.
Right of refusal, well, what if my neighbor is the TNR person? You're gonna.
Well, that's
you're-
the question
You're
I've had
still
from the
talking about
get-go.
an ear-nipped cat that you will return, period.
Well, and could we not, if there was that feisty couple of cats that had a tipped ear that kept that were mine, that I was feeding, and there was a couple that kept coming to your house for whatever reason, because they liked that smell of that mulch you just bought. Okay, and you were sick of it. Why couldn't still some authority figure, or you call the city and say, Deanna has these 2 feisty cats, they have tipped ears, but I'm sick of them. Why couldn't then just that situation then be evaluated? And maybe those 2 tipped ear cats that are coming to your house, maybe they're friendly enough to be taken from,
So
I'm
is
just
it-
giving a scenario. Why can't each of these individual scenarios be evaluated individually when they occur.
It does say it in the ordinance that they can call the city and have a complaint.
And then it's evaluated then instead of trying to make all these innuendos about what might happen, but I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I
guess
do
what
too.
Deanna's saying is you can't 100%
Right, I'm-
protect a tip deer.
Well,
That's,
happened to me.
there
100%.
are
95.
instances, there are instances, yes, there is.
So let me ask a question, and then I'm done. Okay, on 134C1, I'm back to the Oklahoma City thing, okay? Because you've already agreed that the form is fine, and actually the form is very helpful,
Form's fine.
okay? They're either gonna accept them or they're not. And
Like,
if
I'm
they
pro- I'm-
don't, they don't. And
I'm
that,
probably gonna do something real similar to that, probably.
well, that is the form
No,
that would
not
go
for me,
with
it's
it.
not.
What? That would be the form that goes with the TNR.
For you,
Approval.
but not for me. I got my own TNR thing going on.
What are you talking about? I thought you were doing the TNR.
I'm doing
confused as hell.
TNR.
Yeah, we got, okay. Well,
Anyway.
The only thing with the form though, Brian, is that this cannot override the spirit of the ordinance, that if the homeowner doesn't sign this, then therefore they're never getting the cats returned back ever. Is that what you're saying? That
You're gonna go to places that, right, well, you're gonna go there anyway, and, or not you, but you're gonna go there and you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna trap and neuter these cats and I'm gonna return them, and they're gonna say, I don't want them back.
I tell them I ain't doing it.
Okay, then, fine.
I
Then
don't do
sign
it. My
this.
program does not make me do that. By me,
Right.
by us, by me, by you guys,
But as a city, we're supposed to.
yes. What you guys, what you're adopting.
All right, so there's,
Can I clarify something real quick?
yeah.
So the form actually doesn't change either version of it.
Nothing.
Both
That's what I'm
versions
saying.
still say you have to have
I'm okay with the
homeowner,
form.
no, just gonna say, the form is on both of them. You still have to have homeowner consent to go onto the property.
Yeah.
And that's all the form is doing.
I like the form. I'll probably
Yeah, all
adopt
this,
one just like it.
all
yeah.
this, well, this is the form. That came from an attorney. I didn't create that form. That was a a body created the form.
I don't know that's really good,
that-
Brian. I want one
That is,
just like
that
it.
would bind the TNR. So, so we're gonna approve this ordinance with the form, but you're not gonna accept the form, is what you're saying.
She's just saying she has, since she's not the one that's ultimately responsible for doing TNR within the city, our own animals staff is to do that. She can't do
Oh,
it. She
so,
can't
we
be the
have-
one.
oh, so that, okay, so this is where I'm confused. I thought you were doing the TNR.
I'm doing it, but I'm doing it on. As
So you
helping
want the
committee.
city to do the TNR? I'm confused, I'm confused.
Eddie,
You
you
told
wanna-
me,
Eddie,
if we, hold on a second. You told me if, as soon as we approve this, you're gonna start TNRing on the west side.
I am. I pulled my program from the city because you guys continue
Okay,
to
but
track.
so
So by
we
doing
approve this,
this,
then the city, then animal control is taking over this?
you guys are gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it too. We're gonna really knock it out really, really fast.
Yeah, I don't know about
Okay, well
that.
then I would have to say that if it's a joint venture, excuse me, I'm still a little messed up. If it's a joint venture and we're looking at this as a partnership, Lisa, and if we need to know which colonies are managed by your program and which colonies are managed by private caregivers, okay? This allows for there to be a one-stop, everybody has record of it. Did you go in and do the TNR? Hypothetically, if you go in and do the TNR underneath this ordinance, because right now there isn't one, you're doing it on your own, so you have your own program. If you do it under the new ordinance, then whether it is animal control or it is your program, everyone will use the same form.
fine.
So
I'm
that
good with that.
way, everybody has a record,
I'm good
including
with that.
animal welfare,
I'm good
of
with that.
exactly where these colonies are.
Yes.
And who is responsible for being the caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
If you say you're gonna be the caregiver on the west side
I will
in-
never be a
I'm
caregiver
just
for
saying
any
you're
residents.
doing
I'm
it-
caregivers for the commercial
Right, but
cats.
over there also is the hospital, and over there also is a few places that have commercial properties.
Like Job Corps, and
Like
they take
Job-
care, they
yes,
take
ma'am.
care of their own.
Yes, ma'am, but this allows for that to happen and
Yeah.
everybody to be
I'm
on
good
the
with it.
same page.
Yeah,
Okay?
but I'm not
Okay.
signing no partnership with y'all today. I'm just saying that
No,
I'm here
we're
to.
just saying
yeah,
that once
we're-
this organization, once this is an ordinance.
Yes, I wanna
okay,
help.
So-
Everybody has to be on the same
I agree.
page.
But
and that allows
understand, we've been, I say we, you and I and some others on here, have been dealing with this for multiple years.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time ever ever, right now, sitting here, that I hear the city's taking over the TNR. Ever. Is that the first time that ever that
The
came up?
ordinance was written that way.
What's an
though.
ordinance, Brian?
The ordinance
What's a
was
city
written-
ordinance?
We're doing, I thought this was allowing you to go ahead and do it, and we weren't gonna take the tipped kitties
She'll
or none of
assist,
that.
Brian. She's gonna assist.
And y'all gonna use my
Don, is this
money.
something that you realize that you guys are taking over?
He knows
No,
what,
when I read the ordinance, I mean, I read it in the spirit that it's always been presented, and that was, it was gonna be this wonderful partnership. And that's one of the things that I will give you about this ordinance. Now that all this has changed and I'm under different conceptions, the problem with the ordinance is it's not clear on who's responsible for what, where, when, why, and how. And I'm afraid what's gonna happen is it's gonna be all the city. And when I looked at this as a partnership between us and helping community Paws and Claws, I estimated that it was gonna take a third of our time and resources to do a partnership. It's gonna take personnel if we're gonna take over that program, and it's gonna take money.
See, and that's one of the things that the meeting that got canceled would have handled, because Don was gonna be in that meeting, and we could have sorted this all out before this meeting tonight.
We had it in there, though, that we would be receiving assistance from Helping Community Paws and
Yes.
Claws, and I was advised to remove that.
Like I say, this is the first time ever I'm hearing that the
if
city
you,
is.
hey,
gonna be
listen,
managing
if you wanna turn down, like I said, we've done $225,000 since 2021, and Guthrie and Logan County, and spay and neuters and TNR work.
Well, so if we're
Okay,
gonna-
that I'm already doing anyways. I do
Okay,
anyways,
so-
by myself. So I'm telling you, I do about 90% of this without you. But the residents, I pulled from the residents because you guys were continuing to do your stuff.
In
And I pulled it.
132 hold on. In 3-132, it does say that authorization of TNR, animal welfare personnel may partner with
May.
veterinarians.
May.
It says may
Where are you
partner with
seeing that? I'm not seeing
veterinarians, caregivers, and organizations to conduct or support TNR.
This is a normal
And there's
TNR
caregivers
that
and
all the other
organizations.
cities do.
Okay,
It says she's an organization.
I get that. No, I understand.
It says may, so they may do
Okay,
it.
all
Doesn't
I'm,
make
all
sure.
I'm saying is, I've been involved in this for a long time, and my only issue was ever the people that didn't want them back, which I've got resolved in
Well,
my
great,
mind.
let's move on. Can we watch the video, maybe? Can we do that yet?
Well,
Or
wait a
not?
minute, because you got, now,
I-
we can't approve something that we hadn't even talked to
We're not
staff
done
about.
yet.
We didn't even talk to staff about any of this.
I proposed this 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. So and I'm not allowed to talk to staff, as I've been told
No,
in our
but
council
that's why we were
orientation.
having the meeting, Adam.
We have an ordinance that doesn't say anything about anybody else doing it. Clearly, staff is supposed to. I put it in 4 weeks ago, and now it's a shock that staff's not doing it.
Well, let's back up. So, a lot of things were said. Let's hang on, let's regroup. I think where maybe the misconception, the first draft of the ordinance said that we were going to allow the organization, the outside organization, to conduct the program and have control as to the conditions of the TNR cats, the community cats. What the staff was not in favor of was an outside organization telling city employees how to do their job with no enforcement. That's not something, and that's something that Chief Swagger and I discussed, and we've had that conversation. So that is what the original draft of the ordinance said before we got to here. Now, as we've all circled the numerous revisions, it's really hard to sit here and say, okay, well, it was never in there. This is revision number 6. I think we've all talked about several different components of this ordinance
Look,
in many different conversations.
Had we had the scheduled meeting that multiple of us took our time and scheduled it to be off to have the meeting, and it got shut down, okay? Then, because Grant couldn't be there, or because there was a quorum, everybody else was gonna be there, and all of this could have been sorted out, 100%.
And
We
I-
could
pretty
be
black-
here, we wouldn't even had to be here all this time
So-
at this point.
It's pretty black and white.
Counselor
What happened?
Bothroyd, if I could continue for just a moment.
Sorry.
One of the reasons that we objected to that is because we already have an MOU in place with HCPC, and we already have the ability to partner prior to this ordinance. She's already been operating the TNR program. We already have an MOU in place where we could partner to do it. And we understand, yes, over the last 4 weeks, discussing this ordinance on the phone, through email, between the city attorney, multiple different city councilors, several outside meetings, it has been difficult to try and make sure that everybody's on the same page at the same time. And hopefully in the future, we can do this in a workshop where we can all
Yes.
make sure that we have all of the understandings, we're all on the same page as to what the program is and explore next steps.
So do we need to table it? I'm not being negative on it, just hear me out a minute. Do we need to table it so that we have a workshop that we can all get involved and let the city be involved in it? Because right at this point, that's the first I've heard anybody speak on the city side was Don Swagger to here just 5 minutes ago.
Can I address one thing real quick?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
So if you look at 3.132, TNR activities, including humane trapping, transport, sterilization, rabies vaccination, zipping, and return to field, are lawful in the city of Guthrie when conducted in accordance with this article. It is not directing anybody to do anything. It is making it lawful to do. So I think that we're going in the wrong direction. This is not directing
Thank you.
PD to take an action. It is
The
not.
problem is, we enact this ordinance without it all being fleshed out, and as soon as it's not done, it's gonna be my fault. I'm telling you, I've been through this for 11 years.
My reading of this is, if we pass this and we never do a TNR, we're not violating the ordinance. We're
Correct.
setting the framework for it to happen. So I'm just trying to clarify.
That's correct.
I think we're going in two different directions on this.
And something I would like to add too, I mean, we're currently trapping, we're currently transporting,
Yes.
and we currently do spay and neuter
Yes.
on an as-needed basis, right? No, it's not a TNR, we're not returning them, but we do that today.
Yeah, y'all don't
And
ever
when you say
return.
we,
Correct.
Eddie, the city,
We,
city
ci-
never returns.
We,
They-
the city of Guthrie, and
Yeah.
I said that, we do not return.
Right.
But that opportunity is currently present with our MOU, is it not?
Only for me, but I'm not doing it in city limits anymore.
But this ordinance, but this ordinance authorizes the city to partner with any organization that may want to do so,
Correct,
and whether that's you or somebody else.
right.
Okay.
Can I speak on the MOU?
Yes, sir.
For the sake of your volunteerism and all this effort that seems to be happening and growing, the records show that only 7 times out of 11 months did one volunteer from Paws and Claws show up and volunteer. One time, one only single volunteer, 7 times in 11 months.
Okay.
How are you gonna handle all this added involvement you're talking about with
Well,
people
Tracy,
not
I'm really
wanting to
glad you
volunteer?
asked. I'm really glad you asked. So I signed that MOU thinking that we were going to have this really great communication and this great partnership. I can't control my volunteers, you know, they wasn't too happy how I was treated on the last deal, so they really, you know, between going to the police, there's a lot of reasons, but I'm just going to cut down to the chase. There's no partnership on your end with me. There's nobody wanting to do a partnership with me on my end, on your end. My end was great. The things that I do know is that Polly went every Wednesday, and I talked to her today, and she couldn't be here because she hurt her back. There's a lot of times she didn't sign in. I didn't sign in a few times because I didn't know you had to sign in too. But she was there every Wednesday. You guys were hiring a part-time employee. She filled out an application because she wanted that job. Nobody ever got back to her. I come in and took 9 cats completely out of there, took them out, fixed them, vaccinated them, found them home. 6 of them are sitting down at the cat cafe right now to be adopted. There were 18 cats in the kitty city. The kitty city was just chicken cooped, no walls, just flat chicken coop. There was a water leak in the floor. You know, I was hoping you wouldn't bring this up because I really don't want to talk about it, but I'm gonna tell you my shortcomings. The standing water in the kitty city, the cats couldn't even go to the water because the water bucket was underneath the spout and it was overflowing, so the cats had to literally walk into water to get into to get to their fresh water. That cold storm come in earlier this year, that was really going to be the really cold storm. I was really concerned about them. They wasn't fixed. There were 18 cats thrown into a kitty city with no shelters, I had given Gail a couple of my kitty shelters that I do, little kitty things. There were 2 in there that were completely tore up with holes in them. So these cats were huddled in corners, in different corners. So I didn't come up and throw a big fit. I took action. I went and got hay bales, and I put hay bales in there because you guys allowed me to come into the shelter to make things better, I was hoping. And there were some cats there that were pregnant. And then the following week, I got all that ready. The following week, there's barn cats on Facebook, $5 a piece. Just going to send barn cats out without being fixed, without being ear tipped, without, pregnant mamas with vouchers, which how are you going to catch feral cats with vouchers to bring them back? I fixed the problem. I scheduled vet appointments with Operation Catnip a couple of weeks later on a Sunday, because that was when their next trapping was. I was able to take 20 cats, so I put them at the top of my list to get them fixed, vaccinated, put back into the kitty city, and then start the barn home program. I had 6 kitties that I'd already had. 6 kitties wouldn't even have gone back. I already had them a barn home that was going to go straight from there to do that. I show up at the shelter. I called to see if I could come. And by the way, there was only one animal officer at that time. So Polly had tried to go many times, but they wouldn't let her go in there by herself. So there was a lot of times that she tried to volunteer, and there was just nobody there to let her in, which is understandable, including myself. I did call to find out that I went in like that Thursday or Friday to make arrangements to take those cats, because I'd have to trap them inside that area and take them to Operation Catnip on Sunday. So I'd need to trap them Saturday night. So I went in to make arrangements to figure out how was I going to get into the facility. And they were gone. They had been ordered to be euthanized. And when I left from there and come up, spoke with Eddie. He put me in a room with Chief Swagger and, I don't see him, Lieutenant Mize. And we had a nice chat, and I asked about what happened, and Mize's exact words was, "You complained, and I fixed the problem." So I'm very sorry that my shortcomings were very short, because it hurt me to the core that happened.
Well,
So
let's back up for a
I
moment,
apologize
please.
for the MOU for my shortcomings.
You said a moment ago that feral cats in the cat city are there. Of course, when you talked about you didn't have a problem with euthanization in a certain term.
Correct?
And those cats were there how long?
A while.
Months. And you mentioned months.
Pregnant and breeding.
So they were there longer than they probably should have been under
They were.
the stipulation. Okay, I just wanted clarification.
Yeah, that's really nice there.
So are you going to be able to work with them in the future?
You ask them. I don't have a problem with
Well,
that.
that's what I don't know.
I do not have a problem, but obviously, we do not have a partnership. I mean, that's what I said. You pass the ordinance, you do your thing, I do my thing, we do it together. I bring our money into the city. It's a regular TNR ordinance that is from,
I want to say something real quick. Early on in this process, when I started gathering information, calling Stillwater, Edmond, Chickasha, all these surrounding areas, one lady who has done TNR for over 20 years in Norman, very large city, very large shelter, huge university, lots of cats, lots of issues. The first thing she said to me was, I'm not opposed to your ordinance, but I'm going to say one thing. And I said, what is that? She said, this is going to have a very difficult time being passed if the volunteer organization / 501c3 does not have a relationship with the city staff, whether that be, i.e., the animal shelter. Because we can't, again, I understand this is a framework, and some of these other details possibly could be worked out in the future. But as I sit here today, this evening, and I'm thinking, okay, what if tomorrow some residents down on North Wentz calls the city, we pass something tonight, they call the city and say, I have 15 cats, 5 cats, however many cats, whatever the fact. As I sit here, I'm not certain I would know what to tell somebody.
Yeah,
A
there's no-
TNR ordinance is a
very-
TNR ordinance. I don't know why you guys are making it so difficult. It's really black and white. I mean, you adopt the.
I understand it's black and
you-
white
You adopt
on
the
paper.
ordinance
It's
or.
black and white. As I read this, I 110% believe in TNR. I've seen it work. I know it works, but it will not work as we sit in this room right now.
It clearly states
there's
that, it
too
clearly
many-
states animal welfare personnel may partner. It doesn't say
Will
are
partner.
gonna
Right.
and will be mandated to
And so
partner.
if HCPC isn't going to do it in the
Lisa, you gonna
city.
do it? Are you
Yeah,
gonna
if you're
say
gonna
yes
pass
and
the
tell them you're gonna
ordinance,
do it?
I'm gonna have the mobile unit come, we're gonna do 80 cats really quickly, that's not gonna cost anybody, and I wanna continue to do my life's work that I dedicated my whole life with.
But Adam, the reason this came up is because on the form, she said, yeah, I'm gonna adopt one of those too. And that's what confused me, because again, this is the first time ever hearing about that you weren't gonna be doing it. I thought we were passing this.
So I
that
can
you
do it
could
all and pay for it
No,
all.
not that you could do it all and pay
Well,
for it all.
that's what you're saying.
No, it clearly states that we can partner with anybody in our MOU. Okay, we can partner with whoever. We could have 5 other people come in with TNR. But my point is kind of just like Moneca's, that we all have to use the same form. We can't,
I see that's
Use the form.
yeah. So that way it's standardized.
Yes,
So
I love
I'm-
the form, Brian, we'll use the
So I'm
form.
good with that. The only part that I can't do is
If I
I
do-
cannot, and nobody on this council can direct city staff. Okay, we can't do that.
You're already trapping cats. You're already trapping cats.
I understand.
You're already doing it. I'm doing it at a much higher rate than you're doing it.
I know.
And it's gonna be more of a higher rate if we do this and I come into the city limits and do it. Every cat that I trap, I'll take a screenshot of that piece of paper so I can send it to the shelter and so they can file that. I mean, I don't have to talk to any guys that are, we can do it where I can just do it through the shelter.
But all I'm saying is that we as a council cannot mandate city staff in a certain direction.
What do you
We
think
can
the
only
ordinance-
talk.
Yes, you can, absolutely, that's what.
We can't mandate that the police department is gonna go manage this process. That has to come through our management of Eddie.
You can absolutely, as a policy, set that. If you
It's an
can't,
ordinance. It's a
there's
TNR
no
ordinance.
purpose in you sitting here.
Well,
If you cannot set policy, there's no purpose in you being here.
okay.
If you,
No, we can definitely set policy, okay? But, I mean, at the end of the day,
Well, we are, okay, so we're clearly hearing that council members did not know that city staff would
No.
be taking care of an ordinance. that-
well,
for city
Deanna,
staff.
did you know that? Did you,
She knew
Jeff,
it.
did you know that? Tracy, did you know that? Or I'm the only one that didn't know that city staff was gonna have to do this?
It's an ordinance
I thought it was
Pretty
a
well read that
partnership.
in there, that's one of the problems I had, was there was no discussion about it. Yes, I could see clearly that the city staff.
Well, yeah,
was gonna
but there's
have
never been a conversation ever with
That's
city
true,
staff
but I
about it.
could clearly read where the city was involved and expected to participate.
Eddie, did you have a,
I have the
Have
problem
you
with the
had
fact that it
convers-
was never discussed with you or a plan made. Yes, I do have a problem with it.
so this TNR has never been discussed with the chief?
So the original ordinance, when it came to us, that's when I went to Chief Swigert and Lieutenant Mize, and I said, hey, review this, let's work through this, tell me what you see, what you don't see, city attorney. We coordinated internally. Now, again, this is revision number 6, so there's been a lot of language
Right.
and conversations that have maybe been lost in or out.
Well, and again,
And in the future, please, there's this setting is the opportunity for the staff and the council to make sure that the council is clearly conveying to the staff what it is that you'd like to see in the policy, and that we can carry that out, so that there's no miscommunication. And I would say, Lisa, that, yes, I understand that we've had some obstacles, but we have been diligent in our partnership, and that MOU was the first step in doing that.
It was, I was really excited about it.
And I look forward to a future partnership. I'm confident that we can get there. And there are going to be hurdles, but we're going to learn and grow together in this process. I think we can get there. Having said all that, Mayor, is there a chance that we could look at a motion to table this and bring it back at the next meeting, maybe?
Yeah, because here's what happens, if we can sit down as a body and,
Can I?
because
can-
we're supposed to set policy, Grant, on the police force right now that we never knew was gonna exist.
Can I speak for a minute? You know exactly what's going on, Brian.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we tabled something before in the past. Do we want to
No, I
talk?
don't want that
do we,
to
do we
happen.
want to talk about how that went down? Because that didn't go very well in our private room in the back room.
No.
And I'm not going to do that again. I'm just not
So-
going to do that again.
Okay, so, again, how do we set policy on city staff when we're just finding out about the fact that we have to
You
set
did-
policy on city staff?
You did not just find this out.
That didn't know, I guess, that city staff was.
Apparently, because I was
No.
prepared for the meeting with city staff
Well, Eddie just,
and you.
Eddie just said that he spoke with staff. He told them that this was happening.
Well,
So they've had
I
weeks
guess I've been
now.
out of the loop.
They've had weeks now to know it's coming.
We've had several
It's been
conversations.
all over the Facebook
It
pages,
was
I'm
2
sure.
years ago this first came. You've had a whole week to think about
I said weeks.
it. This was first brought September of 2023.
There is nothing in this policy that doesn't, that it wasn't in there in 2 years ago, that we had the same meeting here and the same,
There was no discussion with the city staff
The-
as to how they were going to
that
participate.
there, and the only
That's not our
verbiage.
job.
Hang on, the only verbiage,
Say that again?
is that there was one little area there that's been changed after the 6 revisements. Only one little bit right there. So nothing's been changed, the verbiage has not been changed except for that one little area there. 6 revisements, 6.
Lisa, I hear what you're saying, and I completely understand. I think as a general just policy-making rule, and I'll wait just a moment, make sure we're all, okay. Just as a general policy-making rule, for all of us to be on the same page is the only way to implement good policy. So sitting down and having this conversation in this meeting, this is how we can guide that discussion. And that's how we can look at the ordinance and say, you know what, we don't like that language, so we're going to go back and we're going to revise it, we're going to
And
change
you
it
did,
again.
yeah, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and that's what we're here to do.
We're okay with it.
Exactly.
Right.
But the workshop setting or a council meeting setting is the time to sit down and have that conversation with staff and include them in that conversation. So that's,
Thank you,
we're all
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
on the same page.
Yes.
So can I propose that if this is tabled, it's tabled for no longer than 30 days?
No, we're only gonna do it
No.
for 2 weeks.
Let's just table it to the
Alright, that
next
works.
meeting
It's
and
only 2 weeks.
if you're comfortable to the next meeting, we could schedule a workshop prior to your regular meeting and dedicate the time to
But-
this
Well,
item.
I can honestly say one thing publicly, is that as long as we're doing the form, I'm all in and I'm gonna vote yes on this anyway. Okay, the fact that the only reason I wanna meet is because we have to direct city staff and set a policy for them, and I don't, this is the first I'm hearing of it.
Well,
That's all.
Brian, this has been an ordinance.
But never this for city staff.
This is a game that you play every time. Every
This
single
is no
time.
game. Don't
It
say I'm
is
playing a game.
It's a game.
I'm sitting up here at $1 a year. I'm not playing a game.
Well, and
I've got a ton of research in this, Lisa.
And I've got a lot of
just
boots
told
on the
you I was
ground.
giving you my vote on this.
Let's stop for a second. If we pass the draft one with this, are you okay with that, Brian?
Look, at the end of the day, it's not gonna commit the city is the problem. It's not. It's not gonna commit, because we're not setting a policy in this ordinance for them. Because
it's a
we're just
city
not.
ordinance.
Okay.
It's because it's all May and it's very, how are you setting policy for city staff in this ordinance?
I'm not supposed to do that.
Exactly.
No, you are supposed to set.
We're supposed to have a conversation and come up with what the program's gonna look like.
All right. Let's, okay.
That's all. But yeah, I'm good as long as the document's in there. I just told her I'm gonna vote yes on this as long as that document's in there.
So if
What
we-
document?
Then the
The
form.
form.
We'll do it. I said it, we'll do it. It's there.
But
Let's
I
do
wanna
it.
make sure, you've got a lot of time in this too, Lisa, that at the end of the day, you get what you're looking for out of staff as well.
I
And the
am
only way-
good. Pass that ordinance, pass that deal, and I'm good, Brian.
But how does that mandate our staff? It doesn't.
Okay, all right.
You're not
Well,
good.
motion was already, okay, so So if Brian's good with that and he's saying do it, all we're gonna do going to a workshop is just say the same stuff we've said
That's
tonight.
correct.
And
We
wind
have
back right
someone
up
who
here
wants to
anyway.
speak from the community, may they speak
Right,
first?
yeah, we do. Thank you for reminding me. We do have two more.
And we also have the video too to run.
No, we don't. I think we're fine. They understand the science. I think we can.
Okay. I was just thinking about the citizens probably don't understand the science.
Sure.
And if they saw it, actually, it's a 3-minute video. Can you give us 3 minutes?
Yes, I will.
3 minutes, I mean.
We will get 3 minutes. Let's have, you went ahead and get these out. Let Bonnie was it Winslow? Yeah. Sorry, I should have done this earlier.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
So I'm Bonnie Winslow. I'm a resident of Guthrie. Thank you all for letting me talk tonight. The only reason why I'm here is just to kind of provide a different perspective. But I think I've heard from 2 council members pretty much my perspective as a property owner and my concerns. And I'm not going to get into this discussion about TNR or anything like that. I only just wanted to tell you that I've also been dealing with this problem for a long time. The cats that come into my yard may or may not be coming from a colony. They may be coming from my neighbor, or they may be coming from a colony where a woman's feeding down the street. I mean, I don't really know for sure. I see the same cats over and over again. My concerns are that they do destroy my property. They upset my cat. My cat, who's an indoor cat, they poop, pee, fight, fornicate, everything all the time. And I guess I just want you all to keep that in mind as a property owner. And I'm very pleased to hear everyone is totally fine with this form that says, I don't have to take them back if I call them in. Because if I'm calling them in, it's a nuisance cat to me. And I'm not feeding them, I'm not bringing them in, but they still show up anyway. So I'm not the source of food. They're not just passing through. They're coming in every single day, every single night, goofing around. So I just want to make sure that I, as a property owner, am protected and that I don't have to take these cats back if I don't want them. And honestly, I don't want them. I will also tell you that if you're not careful about giving that safeguard, the ability for that property owner to say no, that property owner may take it into their own hands to take care of them. And I know that you all know of people who go out and kill cats. I know that you all know people who go and take cats and dump them in the county. I have a neighbor who built a wooden fence around this property, and then he put a wire that's electrified to keep the cats out. That's crazy to me. I think that's all totally wrong, and that's something I would not do. Nonetheless, I don't want to be a caretaker of this cat. I don't want to be the caregiver. I'm not in that kind of role. And I just want to make sure, as you all are hashing this out and thinking through, that you keep my and other people's property rights in mind. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have, sorry, I have handwriting in cursive. Is it Cottrell, Serve?
Yes, Katrina.
Oh.
I apologize. I'm a disabled veteran who rarely leaves her home. But I had to come here because I have had direct contact with Lisa New, and I think that you guys need to know. My first contact with her was in February. I had a neighbor that had a cat colony. The neighbor was a vet tech, had started trapping. We trapped between 16 and 20 cats in my fenced backyard. I had a problem from when I first moved in over a year ago. Cats, we would have groceries delivered. I don't like to open my door, and they would eat the food. They would go in our trash cans if they were slightly opened, where I had to get a second trash can. So my contact with Lisa New was on February 15th via Facebook, because I had asked how people deal with them. It was assumed I meant kill them. I have 2 cats that are from the Cat Cafe. I love cats. But I am a veteran, and I started having them eat groceries, spray packages, spray my property. So I contacted animal control, and as I said, Lisa New I gave her my phone number. She never called me, and I have in quote her saying, I'm very sorry, "I'm crazy busy right now. Can I get your number and call you when I have time? I will call you." That was on February 15th of this year. On May 15th of this year, a cat was trapped in my front yard by animal control. She went on my property without permission. I have a video of it. The police were called. Animal control has a report of it. I have multiple videos to prove this. I dealt with a Detective Hamilton. Again, she trespassed on my property, and I can show the video if you'd like to see her in it. She never had permission to be on my home. I never spoke to her from February 15th. I just wanted the cats to stop peeing. Now, in regards to your vacuum, we have had 20 cats that were trapped. The last cat was trapped that she released. I have not had cats trapped since then. I have not seen a cat on any of my doorbell videos on my front porch since then. I've been now able to have groceries delivered and not have to worry about being at the door to meet people, which is very stressful for me. I have been able to do that. That has been May 15th. It is now September 15th or 16th, my apologies. I have had no cats on my camera doorbell. I have not contacted animal control to bring further traps. So that's bullshit. Excuse my language, but it's bullshit that the vacuum thing happens. I have not had any cats on my front door, and I have now no marking, no peeing on my packages, no eating of my groceries since then. You all need to know this behavior. There should be nobody trespassing on property.
Exactly.
It was a tipped cat. It was released. It was on video. It was released, and it was a nuisance. It was on my property. She came on my property and released it. It is a report. I called the police that day. You can pull the report. And if I only found out about this at the last minute. That's why I'm very disheveled. My son was going to come, but it was last minute. So I would be happy to provide everything I'm stating. I have multiple videos that were emailed to the police officer. It's Detective Hamilton. And I also have reports with animal control. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, well, yes, Lisa.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, no, go ahead.
We're not supposed to rebuttal on any of this. I mean,
Oh,
I guess.
You can't, I guess you can't respond to her because it's a public comment.
Yeah, you can't.
So,
It's on the
well,
agenda,
oh, but it's on the agenda, though.
I should be able to
well-
openly speak on this
Is she-
case.
Is she legally allowed to respond to that?
You can respond, but you're also trying to shut this down to move on to.
Go what?
On the table.
All right. I earlier had meant to say that that's why I will be making a motion. It came out as a motion, but I will make a motion now for draft 1 with Brian's form. Brian, are you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that, but again, with a caveat that I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page, how everybody's working together. And that has to be done in a workshop. We can't determine that tonight. Can we?
Yeah.
Can we pass the ordinance, one of the ordinances with obviously, if it passes, then
Then we
there
do the
should be a
workshop.
workshop
Yes, I agree with that.
to hammer out the details.
I agree with
This
that.
is a framework.
I do agree with that.
That way we could readdress and
I agree.
you with Lisa and with everyone.
Hold on just a second before you do that. So if you're adding the form to it, I would propose that you use 3-133 from the second version. All that does is it add a consent form requirement to the
Yes.
language. So that, if you want to make that a formal part of the amendment,
Well,
He can add that to the first one.
132,
I would need to read it again.
133.
133.
3-133. It's up for
C.
Did you?
Yep, it's C.
It's consent form, it adds this to it.
All right, so 3:133,
The only change
item
is-
C,
Yeah.
not,
Well, there's not an A, B, and C on that.
yes, there
Yeah,
is.
yeah, so
There's an A, B, C, D, E.
You'd have to amend draft 1 to take the entire portion of 3-133 and out from draft 2.
That is what I would.
You would,
But we'd want to do the whole thing on 3:133A through E anyway.
Just add that
Add A
form
through
to the
E
one.
Add 3:133A through E and be done with it. Because you're going to want to make sure that they know they're the caregiver anyway.
It changes property permissions into.
We're never going to put cats back that somebody's not taking care of, then, I mean,
This particular B says caregivers should maintain clean feeding areas,
Right,
fresh
we wanna keep-
water,
we wanna keep that
type
in
stuff.
there.
You want to keep all that in there.
Okay,
Correct.
while we're talking about that site practices, on this form, when somebody signs it that says they agree to have the cats returned to their property following sterilization and vaccination, they check option 1. That's what that says.
Right.
But can this form also say, therefore you agree to maintain clean
Yeah,
feeding
well,
areas, remove?
it's already in the ordinance, so it goes hand in hand, but
That's-
you
But
could
they
add
may
that
not
on
know
there.
what this
Well,
ordinance
we can,
says.
we
You could add that on there,
Can we add that to the form?
We can add, yes.
yeah.
So they understand when
Yes.
they sign this, they're agreeing.
I agree with that.
To provide food.
I agree with that.
Shelter.
Well,
A, B,
all
C,
we
D
do, Deanna, is we add a copy of 3-133A through E.
To this.
And attach it to it.
Oh, to the ordinance, to the.
Yeah, to the
Form.
form. And then they have it. It's right there, what they have to do.
Well, I'm just saying, instead of read the whole ordinance, can we just add site practices to this return to property so that when they see this form, they know that if they're agreeing to have the cats returned, they're
Yeah.
agreeing to
Hey,
feed
Billy.
them. Otherwise, we're gonna be returning cats and the neighbors are gonna be calling, these cats are starving, they brought them back and nobody's feeding them.
Billy, we're gonna need you to add B to the form
B on what?
on
what?
site practices.
Yeah, we can change the form. We can-
You don't have to change it, you just need to add B to it.
Update it to include
So when
that.
they sign the form agreeing to have the cats brought back, they fully understand.
That they have to
they're
take care
now
of 'em.
Site practices at their house, they're feeding, keeping the area clean.
Making
whatever-
sure they're not a nuisance, all
A, B,
that.
C, D.
Right.
Does that make sense? Here
Yep.
on B, site practices. Just add that to agreeing to have the cats brought back. That way
Just
there's
B,
no
not
confusion.
C or both?
B.
Well, C's already part of it.
Just add B to the form.
I do also want to make sure that when we readdress an MOU with Lisa, that we go into detail and we hammer out these practices, also hammer out those who Lisa has identified within her organization that does have authority to be there on their person all the time. And that has the authority to act on that behalf of that trapped animal. So that way it, instances like previous are a little bit mitigated. And we're not calling each other against each other in regards to the city and what Lisa is responsible for handling as well.
I agree. And I'm good with all that.
So we're not gonna require the caregivers to keep records then, right?
Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah,
No,
no,
they
no, no, no.
Well, then
No,
you gotta
they-
add E to it as well.
That's what, just add the whole thing.
They're gonna have, yes, because of animal control, and they wanna know, if there's got vaccinated
I've already
cats.
said, I've already said attach it to it, but if we're gonna add site practices to it,
It really just needs to go under caregiver understands this portion of the entire responsibilities, should they elect to become a caregiver. And that's what is that?
The whole,
3-1
the whole section.
3-133.
yeah.
They just,
It can be on the back of the
we
form.
print it off and it gets attached to the form with a
Yep.
staple. Or print it on the back of it, either way. They can print it on the back, double print it.
And maybe when you do that, you have that,
And that's good with me.
maybe that portion of the ordinance would
It's
be
on
on
the
a
back.
on a single, yes, on that page, that way it's very
Also,
clear.
this ordinance doesn't take away from nuisance there's already a portion of that.
There's already laws for
Well, and
that.
not only that, site practices makes them keep track of nuisance
Yes,
behavior.
yes, it does.
Okay, all right, so,
Okay.
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, are we all, everybody? There's a,
There's a point of, there's a point of order. There is a motion on the table.
Right.
You will need to amend your motion if that's what you want to do.
Okay, I will amend my motion to be draft one, like I had said, but with the City of Guthrie trap neuter release TNR consent form that I have here in my hand. Right.
Along with
Along with section 3-133 of draft 2,
caregiver responsibility.
caregiver responsibility.
All right.
There you go.
As second, I will accept
Okay,
the amended motion.
yeah, okay. So there, so that motion was made.
And second.
And second.
Okay.
You just have to make sure everybody's clear.
Everybody's clear?
Yep.
Eddie?
But that we are gonna go to a
I think
workshop
so.
for staff.
Yes.
We are,
Well,
yes.
oh,
and
okay.
MOU.
It's up to.
If we're doing a workshop, then we need to wait and do a workshop.
No.
There's no
No.
need, there's
No,
no
this
need
is
to do a
the
workshop
skeleton.
after.
No, not now.
Yes, okay, so
That's
this
what I'm
is, what I'm saying is if we're gonna approve the ordinance, then approve the ordinance. We don't need a
Exactly.
workshop to
That's-
discuss
that's
Well,
it.
wanted
we
to be
need a
clear. That's
workshop
what we're
because
gonna
we need to have what's clear, like Maneka said, about what's clear about what we're doing and what we're
What's
expecting of
training
each
and
other.
stuff.
Just kind of a
Okay.
sit down.
Iron
and-
out the MOU.
Okay, all right.
I'm sure you're quite capable.
Any further comments or questions?
Yes, I want to point out that there was a line in here where city manager makes changes at this. You remember where that was at?
Yeah, that's in the form, that's the.
Yeah, I saw that, and I did question that.
133C,
Oh, man,
I'm glad you brought that up.
what is it?
right here, the form may be adopted or revised from time to time by city manager.
Talking about this form here?
It's the one form that-
Okay, okay,
Got some provisions that-
okay. I'm fine with that, if Eddie's fine with that.
What's that?
This form may be adopted and revised from time to time by the city manager.
City manager can.
Okay, we want
change
to
it,
add one more thing
change details
too.
on it or something.
Where it says that the cats can be transferred to a rescue organization or euthanized, need to have adoption on there also. We need to add.
The rescue organization would handle adoption, I would imagine.
We're not even
Y'all,
approving that
y'all
one.
do,
We're
y'all
not
do
even doing
adoptions
that
through
one.
your deal?
We're doing the first one.
The first draft.
With the
Oh, okay,
amendment of
okay.
that.
That is in draft 2, Lisa.
But I think it, did you see it on that?
Okay, so version 1, version 1 with 3-133, and then with the,
And what did you want the exception to say?
It's
Are
not,
we,
it's
are
not
we
in.
doing the draft one, but we're taking
Yeah.
some verbiage
Yes.
from draft two?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes,
and then with the form.
And
yes.
Mayor, I would ask that the sentence, the form may be adopted and revised from time to time by the city manager. Let's remove that from the ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. There you go, Tracy. It has
that
been
good?
removed.
No, I just pointed out, so you
Okay.
Yeah,
remember that's there in case you don't want it to.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, we don't, I don't want that there.
He doesn't want it. Okay, he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Amend the motion
The motion has
we
got a stricken language, so you're going to strike the language,
on the form.
and you accept that as part of your motion.
Correct.
Okay, I will accept it as the second.
Okay, all right. Any more comments or questions? Nope. Nope, okay. Cast your votes, please.
All votes right.
Okay. 6 to 1. All right.
Thank you, council.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for everyone who showed up and signed up to speak.
It didn't have to take an hour. By the way.
Brian was correct about something.
Yeah, but it didn't have to take.
Okay.
I gotta get going.
Okay, go ahead. We'll wait till the room clears.
I think the rest of us can.
Gotta go into executive
I
session.
know, I said I think.
Shouldn't take very long in executive session.
We're gonna deny executive session this evening.
Deny executive session.
I've never done that. I'm prepared to.
Oh, no.
I think the attorney who's been sitting here for 2
Yeah,
hours
We
would.
do need to go in there.
All right, as long as we're
We can be
quick.
quick about it.
Well,
No, hold on, we gotta go into
The
executive.
attorney represents
I believe that's what's
You're
next.
gonna have to wait.
Okay.
Drug stuff.
I
Okay.
Your Honor, I move that we convene an executive session pursuant to Section 307B4 for the purpose of discussing confidential communication between the City Council of the City of Guthrie and its council concerning the settlement of certain claims and pending litigation, the City of Guthrie versus Purdue Pharma LP, et cetera, case number 1:119 OP 45497 DAP, pending in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Ohio and related litigation.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. Is that okay? We're out of, okay.
Yeah, you'll need it. Yeah, so we jumped to item 9, so we went from 12 to 9, but you got a motion and a second, and we need a vote.
Okay, all right. Cast your votes, please.
All votes for it.
Okay, unanimous or no?
Hey, I've never got to vote no on that. That's my vote. I don't want to go.
Button.
No, I don't want to go.
Want to go?
He's happy, he got it what he
And we're
wanted.
quicker.
Okay. Somebody make a.
Your Honor, I move that we reconvene from executive session.
Second.
All right, votes come out of executive session.
Did you vote?
Oh,
I did.
All votes are in.
All right, so Your Honor, I would move that we adopt resolution number 2025-12, Purdue, Sackler, and Small Manufacturers Settlement Agreement.
So, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. No comments or questions, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
All right, unanimous approval for resolution number 2025-12, Purdue, Sackler, and Small Manufacturer Settlements. Okay, so now we're gonna move back up to item number 7, City Manager's Report.
No report, Mayor.
No report, okay. Item number 8, request comments from members of City Council. Councilman Williams.
No comment.
Councilwoman Denny.
I don't think I have any comments. Just, I'm glad we hashed out, got our questions answered, answered, regarding the ordinances, and, we move forward to however this plays out, whether a workshop, meeting, whatever needs to take place to, get this enacted. So thanks to everyone.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor Taylor.
Thank you, staff. Again, I love to say that. Also, it'll be a week from this Friday. I'll say it. My class is coming out on the field. We'll be 50 years out of high school, so that'll tell you how old I am. And I just want to let them all know that. Otherwise, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Aguirre.
None.
Okay, Councilman Guthrie.
None.
Councilwoman Gibbs.
Nope, I appreciate everyone's efforts in getting the TNR going, and look forward to hashing out additional information, and I think it'll be great.
Yes.
Thank you.
As for me, I appreciate everyone who came. Everyone's gone. I'm talking to like 2 people, Madam Vice Mayor and our attorney. But everyone listening, thank you for showing up and participating. Brian, I never would have thought we would have had you on that.
Well, I could have told you from the beginning,
just
just about my document.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that we came together on that. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody's time and input that we put into this the past few weeks. Tracy, same to you. Thank you very much. I will say this, Tracy, you, or Councilman Williams, your job is to represent the citizens of Ward 3, and I think you do that very well. With that, I have nothing else. So I believe I'm not missing anything.
Adjourn this, then go into
Yep, is there, okay.
Guthrie Public Works.
Yeah, we still have works. Okay, so for our regular city meeting, we are adjourned. Call to order the Guthrie, Oklahoma, Guthrie Public Works Authority meeting, regular Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. Item number 2 is the consent agenda, items A through G.
Move approval of the consent agenda A through G.
Second.
I have a motion and I have 10 seconds.
Third.
Okay, if there's no further comments or questions, please cast your votes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for the consent agenda, items A through G. Item number 3 are items removed from the consent agenda. There were none. And item number 4, we are adjourned.